In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for Saturday, June 29th. Let's get into it. In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for June 29th, Saturday. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 6.6 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10,000, and we are well on our way thanks to you guys showing up each and every day. So continue to like and comment. Whoever's already subscribed, that helps the YouTube algorithm grow to a broader audience. If you're not subscribed right now, you are 100% absolutely missing out on the community that we're building on YouTube and on Patreon. Okay. And speaking of that Patreon, we had some okay plays, or solid plays in today's slate here. One of the top tier number one plays here was all over the Philadelphia Phillies. Despite the fact that news came out about Schwarber and Bryce Harper being out, I was on the Philadelphia Phillies and with them to cover that 1.5, and they did it. It was late, but they did do it. All right. And with the community parlays, they gave out 3 of them. One of the 3 came through, and this was the biggest parlay here with the Phillies, Orioles, and the underdog San Diego Padres. With late news, I was on the Padres late. I know in the video prior, I did speak about the Boston Red Sox, but I looked at some numbers, double checked things, and coming close to that game, that Pivetta, like I said, Pivetta, with the home run issue that he had in the last 2 games, it was concerning to me. I looked at the Padres numbers against righties, and I finally made that decision to switch to the Padres. That's the exclusivity when you come to the Patreon, okay? All right, we switched. We made the right move there. And as you can see, they hopped on Pivetta in that 5th inning and blew it up and blew away the Boston Red Sox. And this parlay came through. So if you want to sign up for the future bets, if you want to sign up for the daily bets and the access to the chat room as well, you sign up for that Patreon link provided down below. Down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up in the slate here, Busch Stadium, St. Louis Cardinals, 42-39, going up against the Cincinnati Reds, 38-44. Looking at the current odds right now, Cardinals are -175 as home favorites with the comeback of the Cincinnati Reds at a +145. Total runs set at 8.5. For the public bet percentage here, 93% of the bets, but it's decreasing here, 65% of the money coming in on the Cardinals. Okay, so a lot of sharp and public money is being very sneakily coming in on that Cincinnati Red side here. For the total, 80% of the bet, 77% of the money towards the over 8.5. All right, for the starting pitching matchup here, we have Carson Spires, 1-1 with a 3.45 ERA, going up against Sonny Gray, who's been absolutely phenomenal, 9-4 with a 2.81 ERA. All right, now with Carson, all right, he has been very solid this year in a handful of starts, so not that big of a track record here when we're looking at Spires, but in the limited action that we've seen, he has been struggling towards left-handed hitters, giving up a 299 batting average, a 1.44 whip, and a 370 BABIP to go along with a 4.26 xFIP. All right, so some lefty bats in there, Gorman, Burleson, along the lines there for that St. Louis Cardinals team here are in very good spots. Now, for the Reds, they're going to begin Sonny Gray, and Sonny Gray is elite at home. And when I mean elite, I 100% mean it. A 1.51 ERA at home, and looking at his numbers against lefties and righties, against lefties, it's a 26% K rate, a 188 batting average, and a whip at 0.98, and against righties, The strikeout percentage at 38% strikeout rating against righties, a 115 batting average, a whip of 0.56, and an xFIP at a 1.75. So this is where you want to be leaning on the Cardinals here with their ace on the mound. As you can see, that line is reflecting that as well. So give me the money line on the Cardinals and give me the under 8.5 runs in this one. In Citizens Bank Park here, we have the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 54-28, going against the Miami Marlins, 29-53. Looking at the current odds, Philadelphia Phillies big favorites here, minus 250 on the money line with the comeback of the Marlins at a plus 195. Total runs set at a very usual 8.5. All right. Public bet percentage, 83% of the bets, 96% of the money towards the Phillies. And for the total runs, 86% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the over 8.5 runs. All right. Starting pitching matchup, Roddery Munoz. This is a special here. Every time we see Roddery Munoz, you know what to expect here. 1-3 record, 5.80 ERA. Going up against Aaron Nola, 9-3 with a 3.39 ERA. All right. Munoz is a gas can to lefties and righties, especially lefties. Right now, he's giving up so many home runs to lefties. It's absolutely insane. The home run per 9 is a 4.58. The fact that it's over 2, the fact that's asinine, all right? 4.58 home run per 9, a batting average at 286, a whip at a 1.58, a xFIP at 4.73. He's going to see around 4 lefties in this lineup here for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's lucky he won't be seeing Bryce or Schwarber, but there's definitely capable bats here that are left-handed that will be able to take advantage of Munoz's struggles, all right? Aaron Nola, on the other hand, has been stellar this year. Batting average at home is a 208 batting average, a 1.01 whip, and an xFIP at 3.41. He does give up a little bit of power to lefties. That's the only issue or blemish for Aaron Nola. But this is a spot where Miami Marlins shocked the Phillies in that game 1. Philadelphia came back in game 2, and I think they're in another great spot to take advantage of Munoz here. Give me money line at minus 250. Give me the run spread again at minus 1.5. We're going to keep riding that. I'm going to lean towards the over 8.5 runs as well. Next up in Kauffman Stadium here, we have the Kansas City Royals, 46-38, going against the Cleveland Guardians, 51-29. Right now, we have, small favorites here in the Royals, minus 115 with the comeback of the Guardians at a minus 105. Total runs only set at 8 for the public. Bet percentage here, 63% of the bets, 58% of the money on the Royals. So people are kind of a little bit 50-50 split here in this matchup. Total runs, 83% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the over 8 runs. For the starting pitching matchup here, phenomenal. Tanner Beebe, 6-2 with a 3.50 ERA. Cole Ragans, their phenom, 5-5 with a 3.03 ERA here. Tanner Beebe does have some raised numbers against lefties, despite the fact he's been very strong this season. You got to watch out for the left-handed bats when you're going up against Tanner Beebe here. He's given up a 1.23 home run per 9, a 261 batting average, and a 1.34 whip. All right. Despite the fact he's been great this season. Okay, so lefties, that's going to be the benefit to the Royals. He's going to see around 3 to 4 lefties in this lineup as well. And then Cole Ragans has been absolutely phenomenal. He pitches even better at home, and I'm loving his strikeout stuff against lefties, and that's what he's going to be mostly seeing here in this Guardians lineup. So I'm going to keep rolling with the Royals here. They surprised the Guardians on Friday, and I think they're going to keep that pressure on them in this game here, especially if they're giving out a plus 1.5. Keep it safe there at minus 190. Royals money line, give me Royals on a run spread at plus 1.5, and give me the under 8 runs, in which I think this will be a pitching duel between Beebe and Reagan. In Citi Fields here, we have 2 red hot teams. Houston Astros 40-41, going up against the New York Mets 40-39. Looking at the current odds here, went right back to the Houston Astros at being road favorites here, minus 120, going up against the New York Mets here at a plus 100. For the total runs, it is set at 8.5. Going to the public bet percentage here, 71% of the bets, 82% of the money coming in on the Houston Astros. For the total runs, 86% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 8.5. We have a pretty solid pitching matchup here between Framber Valdez, who's 6-5 with a 3.68 ERA, and Tyler McGill, who's 2-4 with a 4.81 ERA. Right now, for Framber Valdez, he has been a stud for the Astros this year. He is going to be going up against a very tough task here in the New York Mets because he is a left-handed pitcher, and the Mets are an elite team against left-handed pitching. But Valdez has shown definitely enough wherewithal to be able to neutralize the New York Mets here in this particular game. He is that good of a pitcher. And then Tyler McGill, on the other hand, he has some issues, okay? He has huge home road splits here at home. This is the benefit for the Mets. He has a 2.61 ERA at home, but on the road it's an 8.31 ERA. So you're getting the stronger Tyler McGill in this one. He does have a very high K rate to both lefties and righties, but he does give up a lot of hits to right-handed bats. The batting average is at a 288. The whip is at a 1.53. So they're going to have to get to him with the right-handed bats here and definitely rack up the hits. Hopefully try to play a little bit of small ball here going up against the New York Mets. I do expect a pitching duel in this one. So give me the under 8.5. I definitely do like that. And give me the Astros to bounce back in this particular game environment here. So Astros money line and under 8.5. Next up in Arizona, we have the Diamondbacks 39-42 going against the Oakland Athletics here 29-54. Looking at the current odds right now, Diamondbacks are home favorites minus 210 with the comeback of the Oakland Athletics at a plus 175. And the total is set at 8.5. For the pitching matchup here, Hogan Harris, who is a lefty, 1-1 with a 2.72 ERA and a 1.13 whip, going up against Zach Gallen here, one of their aces, 5-4 with a 3.12 ERA and a 1.14 whip. All right, now Hogan Harris, his expected numbers are showing some glaring weaknesses here. Add on top of that, you are facing the Diamondbacks and you're a lefty pitcher. The Diamondbacks are top 3 in the league against lefties. This is a perfect spot for them to be going up against Hogan Harris in the confines of Arizona, which tends to lean to more high-scoring affairs. And right now, to lefties, Hogan Harris is giving up a 1.55 home run per 9 and an xFIP at 4.66. All right, now, Zach Gallen, he is very, very good at home, which is pretty surprising because the majority of these pitchers for the Diamondbacks have struggled at home in Arizona. Zach Gallen has been the total opposite here at home with a 2.05 ERA. So his strong performance to go along the side at the advantages for hitting are going to be on the Diamondback side. Give me the Diamondbacks minus 210. Give me the Diamondbacks to cover that spread at minus 1.5 as well. In Tropicana Fields here, we have the Tampa Bay Rays going against the Washington Nationals. Rays are 41-41. Nationals are 38-43. Looking at the current odds, the Rays are slight home favorites here, minus 135 on the money line with the comeback of the Nationals at a plus 110. Total set at 7.5. For the public bet percentage, 75% of the bets to Tampa Bay, 71% of the money towards Tampa Bay as well. Total runs, 90% of the bets, 91% of the money towards the over 7.5. For the starting pitching matchup here, Jake Irvin, who's been a big surprise here this season, 5-6 with a 3.13 ERA, going up against Aaron Savale, 2-5 with a 5.20 ERA. For Jake Irvin, he does have some home road splits. At home, his ERA is at 4.36, but on the road is much better at a 2.44 ERA, so much more comfortable outside of Washington when he's pitching. And he's going to see majority of righties in this lineup, probably 7 to 8 righties in this lineup here, and he's very, very good against righties. He's giving up a 202 batting average, a whip under 1 at 0.83, and the xFIP is at 2.77. So there's a very strong matchup here with Jake Irvin going against the Rays righties in this spot. Savale has been pretty bad this year on both sides. It doesn't matter home or on the road, all right? At home, his ERA is at 4.40 ERA. He's given up 15 home runs so far this year, and 10 of those home runs have come at home. So if you're looking at power bats for the Nationals, this is a perfect spot going against Aaron Savale. So definitely props. Hey guys, props. Look at towards this. This could be a key here. Righties against Aaron Savale. He tends to give up a lot of home runs. For Savale, lefties, he gives up a lot of lefties hits wise, and he's giving up a lot of power and whip. Okay, so lefties, they hit him a little bit more. Righties, give up more power and whip. So that's what we're going to be going towards here. National righties, this is a great spot for him. Give me them on the money line as an underdog, and give me the over 7.5 runs in this game as well. Next up, in Angel Stadium, we have the Los Angeles Angels 34-46 going against the Detroit Tigers 37-44. Looking at the current odds right now, Tigers are road favorites -120 on the money line, with the comeback of the Angels at a +100. The total runs are set at 8. For the public bet percentage here, 58% of the bets, 100% of the money all over the Tigers. That's sharp and public money coming in on them as of right now. For the total run, 78% of the bets, 77% of the money towards the over 8 runs. All right. For the starting pitching matchup, we have Reese Olson, 2-8 with a 3.35 ERA, going against Griffin Canning. I love to pick on this guy here, 3-8 with a 4.72 ERA. Reese Olson has been pretty good this year. And he's the third best in this rotation. So Tigers from top to bottom have a very strong pitching rotation. Skubal, Flaherty, and then Reese Olson has definitely showed up this season as a strong starter. So I'm really confident on the side of the Tigers. Then you have Griffin Canning here, who's a huge question mark. Lefties absolutely destroy him. The batting average he's given up is at 283. The whip is at 1.52. And the xFIP is at 4.85. So across the board here, I'm liking the Tigers to take advantage of this spot here against Griffin Canning. Anytime you see Griffin Canning on the mound, you attack him. Anytime you see Munoz on the mound, you attack him. So give me the Tigers on the money line, and give me the slight over 8 runs in this one as well. Last but not least, we have the Minnesota Twins 45-36 going against the Seattle Mariners 46-37. Looking at the current odds right now, slight favorite Minnesota Twins as road favorites, -115 with the comeback of the Mariners at a -105. Total runs set at 7.5. For the public bet percentage here, it's 50-50 on the bet side, but 98% of the money is coming in on the Twins. So that's a huge stark difference there money-wise with sharps and public on the Twins in this one. For the total runs, 87% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the over 7.5. Which is a little bit shocking to me when I'm looking at this pitching matchup here. Pablo Lopez, 7-6 with a 5.11 ERA. Going up against Bryce Miller, 6-6 with a 3.90 ERA. Pablo Lopez did get off to a very slow start this season. That's why you see his raised ERA. But if you remember him from the Marlins, this guy is an absolute stud. He just hasn't fully clicked with the Minnesota Twins, especially in the second season with them. But he has so much potential. And in his last outing, maybe he's getting things going. He had 8 innings pitched, 14 Ks in his last outing. Okay, so that's something to look forward to with Pablo Lopez. And then on the other side, we have Bryce Miller. He has pretty big home road splits as well. On the road, he has an ERA at 6.28. At home, his ERA is at 1.82. So he's an absolute stud when he's at home, and he's at home in this particular game here. I'm definitely going to be leaning towards the under 7.5. And I'm slightly leaning towards the Mariners to win this game as well. I think either the big question mark is what Pablo Lopez is going to show up. Is it going to be the guy that's going to be throwing strikeouts, or it's going to be a guy giving up home runs? All right. Like I said, he has not been consistent at all this year. A lot of up and down, Jekyll and Hyde type of games. And then on the other side, you have Bryce Miller, who's been absolutely stellar. No question at all how comfortable he feels in Seattle, because it is more of a pitcher's park anyway. So give me the Mariners on the money line and give me the under 7.5 runs. That's going to be our selections for the Saturday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below. What are your thoughts? Do you have any props or any other plays for this Saturday slate we got going on? If you want to sign up for the Patreon, get connected with the community, and if you want access to those daily picks and future bets, you sign up right now for that Patreon link provided down below. And I'll be back very soon with another video. Peace out.